Hello, online crew. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all still safe and well and doing amazing. Today, we're going to talk about time because one of the things that's going to help you be successful is learning how to use time to your advantage. Those of you that procrastinate, those of you that are a little bit unorganized, you might get some value out of today's video. So this is the video at the start of the week that I talk about something to do with personal development, personal growth, something to help you be a better version of you or to make you a better business person as far as the mindset stuff goes. But I'm going to share with you 7 tips today to help you be more productive with your time. Does that sound good, guys? And I'll give you a little background as to where this information came from and how I'm adopting it, like in a moment. But I hope you're doing well. If we've not met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. So we have the most amazing online crew community here, full of entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, those in network marketing, MLM. And basically what we're doing here is learning to leverage social media to build our businesses online with modern strategies. So none of the old school techniques. We want to use modern online strategies to attract people to us to grow our businesses. So that's majority of what we talk about. And I go live 5 days a week. But this particular video at the beginning of the week, I like to share something with you to help you be more productive, to help you build your self-belief, like just help you be a better version of you. Because all the skills in social media, online funnels, Facebook advertising, all those wonderful things, they are not the silver bullet unless you've got yourself sorted out. So we need to get you sorted out first before we can learn all the online stuff. Does that make sense? So before I say hello to a few people, I just want to give you a few updates. It was my birthday yesterday. For some of you, it's actually technically today because my birthday is on April the 20th. And so for some of you, it is still April the 20th. So it's still my birthday. If I traveled in time, I would have a very long birthday. But by the time that I got there, it would probably be over. So I have released a birthday special. If you don't know what that is, then just look further down my page. Actually, up in the description, I've got a link to the post. Anybody that would like to get access to all my training and my coaching community, there's over $5,000 worth of training there, from branding to Facebook advertising to groups to prospecting, networking, basic Facebook advertising, advanced Facebook advertising, like all of that kind of stuff. You can get access to all of that for 7 days for $1. Okay, I'm giving you access to my whole suite of training for $1 for 7 days. So grab that opportunity, okay? Those of you that are existing members in the group or have been a previous member, maybe you're not even a current member now, I'm discounting the lifetime membership to $297. So it's normally $349. So any of you that want to take advantage of that, it's available till the end of the month. So just grab it, take advantage of it. Just giving you the presents on my birthday. Also, what's coming up? If you want to work with me for a few weeks on your branding, you still need to sort out your branding. My Build Your Brand course, I think it's group, maybe even 15. I'll have to have a look at that. But that's starting on the 27th of April. So that's in a week's time. So have a look at the link above. Those of you in my online coaching community get a $50 discount to that. So make sure you message me for the discounted link if you want in on that one. And the video challenge is now open. Those were pending, have just been approved. We start on May the 1st. So this is free. It's for 21 days. If you want to do live video, learn to do live video, get better at live video, just hone in your skills on live video, you can enter that group now. The group is open as of today. So that's all that's coming up. So if you want your branding sorted out, we can work on that. If you want the video challenge, we can work on that. And also I've got the special offers, special birthday offers. So there's a lot to take advantage of, guys. I hope you're keeping up with me and all of that. Okay, but all of it is in the description above if you wanted to look into that and any further. Okay, let's have a quick look, see who is joining us today. How was your weekend, everybody? Did you have a good time? Hello, Heather, how are you? Good to see you on. High five, Mike. Good to see you here. Hello, Gloria, how are you? Hello, Edith, good to see you here. Olive, Happy birthday, Helen, US, Canada time. Hi, Henry. Henry's my little messenger bot back here. Thank you, Olive. I appreciate that. Patricia, hello, birthday girl. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Happy birthday for yesterday. Thank you, Mel. Edith, I procrastinate. So the interesting thing is with the time, like a lot of people often complain, I don't have the time. Like I just, between work and kids and family and everything else that I do, I just don't have time to work on my business. Now a lot of people are at home in lockdown and they actually have more time, but they still don't know how to organize their time. So they're no better off. They're no more productive. I was talking to a friend yesterday whose business is actually shut down. So they're in the hospitality business. They've been shut down. So their doors have been closed for a few weeks. When it first happened, they made a to-do list of all these things that they wanted to get done around the house because they're just not working at all. Shut the doors, business closed, all their staff out of work. And they said they've got one thing done on their list. That's what they told me yesterday. We got one thing done. It's like, what are we doing with our time? So even if you've suddenly found yourself with the time, it doesn't mean you're being any more productive unless you organize yourself appropriately. So that's what we're going to discuss. Okay. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Good to see you on. Hello, Beth. Doing well here. Missing the grandchildren. How are you and your family doing? We're doing well. Even my 88-year-old father is fit and healthy and doing well. So that's my main concern. So he's doing well. Hi, Janet. How are you? I just talked about not being prepared for my life today, which is usually me. Yeah, all good. Hello, Judy and Bob. You have 2 days to celebrate. I do. Hope your birthday was terrific. I have a whole lot more. Thank you. Hi, Mel. Video challenge, you're in. Awesome. Happy birthday from Laurie. Hope you had an amazing day and you were treated like Laurie. It was good. Just the only thing I forgot to do was close off my calendar to students booking calls. So I did do quite a bit of work yesterday, but that was okay. I mean, I could have, and so one of the students gave me an out and said, it's your birthday? What have you even got your calendar open for? It was like, well, it was an accident. But other than that, it was all good. It's crazy to think I started your branding course on course 2. I know. And I think we're up to number 15 now, Crystal. And there goes to show when you get your branding right and what you can achieve. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, how are you? Hi, Cheryl. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Life member of our coaching community. Hey, May. How are you? Hi, Lisa. Usually watch the replays. It was awesome to see you on here today. So welcome. Hey, Stephanie. Thank you. Did I rest? Well, the good thing was that we went out to the farm for the weekend, except for Sunday. I got the worst headache / migraine. Wasn't a full-blown migraine, but close to it. I had to come in from the farm at 7 o'clock in the morning and just do what I could to get rid of it. And I went back out Sunday night. So I woke up at the farm yesterday morning, which was lovely. And Paul made me bacon and eggs and coffee. And so we sat around the farm. Then I had to race in home to do my calls. So it was kind of relaxing. But thankfully I got rid of the headache. I'm glad that was on Sunday and not yesterday in my time zone. Hey, Lynn, how are you? Happy birthday. Thank you very much. It's not the time at all. I'm overloaded with what is a priority and where I'm time blocking now. So that's great, Gloria. So an awareness around that is awesome. Been working on my DMO, and I know there is different categories, but I can only remember the money-making activities. What are the others? Does that make sense? Well, there's lots of activities, but honestly, working on like your time. So let me get into the content here. So thank you for everybody that honestly, thank you to everybody that sent me birthday messages, whether that was graphics you created or in my stories, personally messaging me on my page here, in my groups. It was just beautiful. So, thank you. Thank you for the birthday love. I really, really do appreciate that. You're just an amazing community, honestly. Love you guys to bits. So let's get on to the content. I mean, the first thing that we need to realize is managing your time is actually, it's not something you can do. You can't manage time. Time's going around whether you like it or not. The clock's ticking, whether you are ready for it to keep ticking away or whether you want it to stop. You can't manage time. One of my mentors actually despises the term time management. Won't use it in any of his training or his discussions because we can't actually manage time. You can manage you though. You can't manage time. You can only manage how you utilize the time and utilize your time wisely. So that's what we've got to work on, is how you utilize the time. But the time's ticking away. We can never take time back. Lots of people say, I wish if I could turn back the time, I'd do this differently and that differently. Like, let's get you productive, okay? Now, where this content comes from is on Saturday, I think it was for me, and we were out at the farm. So there was 2 books that I referred to you last week on Easter that I got out and I read bits of on the farm. And one was the 4 Agreements, which I spoke to you about last week. The other one I briefly showed you was called Today's Woman. You probably don't know Miriam. She's Australian, okay? But this is all about how, and guys, this is related to you, so don't think it's not. What I'm going to talk about today is Today's Woman. Like, we're trying to be a mother and a wife and a business builder, and like things for women are different than they were, years and years and years ago, where they were just the homemaker. We're trying to do everything. So being really, organized with our time is really, really important. There's a lot of things that we do, that you do, that I do, we all do, that are actually habits, but they're really ineffective use of your time. So Miriam describes 7 things in her book about the best uses of your time and strategies that you should use. And I thought they were all pretty good. So I thought I'd share them with you today, because I'm going to try to be stricter myself on the things that she's recommending. Okay, so you okay for me to share those things? So this is not me. This is coming from Miriam. She was a single mum, like marriage broke up, single mum with kids that, went to the supermarket and couldn't pay for her groceries. Like, she went from that to a multiple millionaire in 3 years. So I think she knows a thing or two about what she's recommending to us. So this is what I want to share with you. Okay, so I'll get into that. Number 1 is to-do lists. Like, do you have them? Do you have them, do you write them out at the night before? So this is pretty simple. I'm a massive to-do list person. But what was interesting about her version of a to-do list is, like, have a little notebook or something like that. Write things down for 2 reasons. 1, the process of brain to writing with a pen and handwriting helps you process things and prioritize things, but it also is away from your phone. So what she was saying, when I do to-do lists, I've got written ones, I've got my diary, but I also use, like, who uses the notes section on the phone? So this little notes section on your phone, I've got currently, how many? I've got 320 notes. I think I need to go and clean that out. What do you think? There's not 320 relevant active notes at the moment, but I have notes that are Facebook Live topics. I'll have action items. I've got all the things in my notes. She's saying when we go to our phone, we're then distracted by our phone, and we could go to notes, but then we suddenly click on something else, and we're distracted for another 20 minutes just by going to our phone. So what she's recommending is, where you do your list and your note taking, you actually write it down for starters. So it's the process of getting from and actually writing it down. And so you're mentally sort of working through the priorities of what you're writing on your to-do list, but get away from your phone, basically, and do your list on paper. I thought that was an interesting one, because I find the notes section on my phone quite effective for me to just quickly jot things down. So as long as you're disciplined with not getting distracted by your phone, that can work really well. But what she was also saying is, have you guys heard of that? So 2 things here as well with it. Like, it's not just writing a list. It's writing, it's utilizing the Eat That Frog principle. Do you guys know what I mean by that? There's a book called Eat That Frog, and that's written, it's Brian Tracy, I think. Is that right? Brian Tracy? And basically what that theory is, and it's a whole book about it, is whatever you don't want to do the most, put that first thing on your list. So whatever is the biggest task that needs most of your energy or thought or a clear head or creativity even, do that first. So you eat the biggest thing first, and then you worry about the little things. So the last thing you want to do is go to your email first thing, or your messenger and things like that. Then you're an hour down the track and you haven't even started on your list yet. So your list for the next day should have 5 things on it, just 5. So you might have a bigger list, but like an action item list that's got lots of things on it, and you got lots of things that you need to do. Most people's to-do list will have many more than 5 things on it. But for the next day, you can't get through a whole to-do list in like the next day. Like if you look at your to-do list, it's probably way more than what you can actually achieve in a day. Would that be right for those of you that have to-do lists? So just do one for the next day, the night before, with 5 things on it and 5 things only. The thing that you really don't want to do first, the biggest thing that takes your creativity and brain power, write that first. Okay, so there's 5 things, you get them done, then you can do what you want for the rest of the day or go to your full to-do list, but you don't touch your email or your messenger until those 5 things are done. How many of you could do that? Like actually really disciplined in your to-do list. So it's what you need to get done, because what we do, and this will be a common theme throughout these 7 things, is when we pick up our phone and go to messenger first or email first, it's what everyone else wants of you. It's not prioritizing what you need to do for you. And this is a massive, massive problem with our procrastination and organization of our time and not being productive. How many times have you got to the end of the day and you've thought, I don't know what I did today, but I've been flat out, but I didn't get anything I wanted to do on my list? It's because you've been distracted by what everybody else wants of you. So the to-do list is really important, but have a couple. Have a full one, but then have one for the next day and just have 5 things on it. And the thing you really don't want to do the most, that is your number one thing. Knock it off. Get it off your list and do those 5 things before you even open your email. See how you go with that, okay? You have to be tough. But the purpose of it and being tough on yourself with that is most of us have got bad habits of some sort. You go to your email first thing or your messenger on your phone or Facebook or whatever it is. It's just a habit. That's all it is. It's just that's what you normally do, so you just do it every day. We need to create new habits to be much better with managing our time, organizing our time, being effective with our time. So you've got to create new habits. To create new habits, you've got to break old ones, and that's going to be uncomfortable, and that's going to create discipline. So to be the person that you really want to be with being really effective with your time and not procrastinating, you have to create new habits. Creating new habits is hands down uncomfortable. Resisting going to your email first thing in the morning or your messenger is going to be uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I want to go and have a look. But if you do it for 3 to 4 weeks with this kind of strategy, that becomes your new normal, and that's your new habit. No, I'm going to get done what I need to do first thing in the morning before I go and attend to what everybody else needs from me, okay? So that was number 1. Number 2, the power of batching. So what Miriam means by this, the power of batching, is there's things that you do every day in your business that are kind of don't take much brain power, but they need to be attended to, and they needed to be attended to every day, like checking your email and checking your messenger. So those kind of things that don't create a lot of thought, but they need to be checked, and they're things that you do over and over again. What she is suggesting is batch those kind of activities together, because what we tend to do is check the email working on something. Your messenger dings. You go to the messenger and then you go back to what you're doing and you're like, what was I doing? I know I came here to my phone for a reason because I was checking something, and then you got distracted by this and that and whatever and whatever. So cut out the email, the messenger, like the things that you do every day, on and off all day, and batch times, time block for those things. It might be 3 time blocks a day, but in those time blocks, that's your email and messenger time. So when you do that and you're time blocking, and that's your time to do that, you're actually far more efficient. But what happens in the times that you're not doing that is you're going to be far more productive and effective in the activities that you're meant to be doing in the times that you're not doing that, rather than doing something on computer, ding, the email goes, oh, what was that came in? Messenger, ding, oh, who was that? Or phone rings or something like that. Like the most efficient time blocking you can do is like a particular task for that period of time and block out everything else. So when you're doing your email and your messenger sort of check-in, that's your dedicated time, half an hour, and you could do that 3 times a day. But when you batch it, you're actually more productive with your time than going back and forth. How many of you go back and forth from email to messenger all day long? You are wasting so much time by doing that. Just try I challenge you to just try a day where you're batching things like that. You write a list of 5 things and block everything out until they're done, then go back and do everything else on your list. I challenge you to try doing these kind of things and see how more productive your day is. Okay, so number 2 is batching. Number 3, her words, avoid the inbox abyss. Email, again. Do you know how distracting email is? And do you know like 80% of probably what's hitting your email is not anything that's urgent of you, but then it sends you to a sales page for something or a training for something else, or a sales catalog for your favorite clothing thing that you've, so then you're looking at the catalog, like all those kind of things. They're really, really distracting and they're not important to your efficiency in your business. Okay. And I wanted to share with you something she wrote in the book. Have any of you guys heard of the book called The 4-Hour Week? It's by Tim Ferriss. And it's a really cool book about how you can actually work effectively in, 4 hours in a week. And he refers to emails as brain farts. So it's just somebody wanting to get something out to you, or like somebody's got a question, or it's a marketing email or something. So it's like a brain fart. It's out there. So they've put it out there, but it's up to you when you absorb it. You don't have to absorb it when somebody else wants you to absorb it. You need to absorb it when it works for you, not when it works for others. So, not only Miriam, but Tim Ferriss and, many famous authors will all warn you against the inbox abyss. So just think of emails like brain farts, and you will get around to them when you get around to them. If there is something urgent, somebody will find a way to get to you. Emails are generally not anything that's urgent that needs your time right here and now. So minimize when you've got your email open. Just time block a few times a day of when you're going to look at it, and then deal with it in those time blocks. Okay, so decide on your email time. That's number 3. Number 4, I thought this was a good one. Shorten your deadlines. Do you remember back in school days, guys, where you're given a deadline for an assignment? Who of you did it at the last minute? When you're given a deadline for something, you've got something that you need to prepare for. How many of you are just doing it right then before the deadline? So what Miriam's saying with your with deadlines, with things that have to be get done, is shorten them to what they really need to be, because we take exactly the amount of time that we need to create a task. So if you've got a task that's 6 weeks out, you'll take 6 weeks to do it. If that deadline was brought forward and you had 4 weeks to do it, you would do it in 4 weeks. So shorten your deadlines on what you're trying to achieve. Speed yourself up and you will be more productive. How many of you are more productive when you're busy than when you're not? I certainly know that's for me. That's certainly the case for me. When I'm busier, I get more done. I'm more productive. I'm more in tune with timelines, things like that. So when you shorten deadlines, you'll actually be more effective and more productive with your time, because you'll take as long as it needs to be. So if you push out your deadlines and say, oh, it's a busy couple of weeks coming up, I've got a lot on, I'll do it by then, and you push out your deadline, you're more than likely going to take that long to do it, because that's the deadline you give yourself. So instead of extending deadlines, bring them forward. Make yourself more productive and set yourself deadlines, and you'll get your work done by that deadline. You have to be obviously if you're the only one controlling this, you have to be strict with yourself, because there's no school headmaster or teacher looking over your shoulder telling you off for not reaching your deadline. So if they're your deadlines for your work, then you want to be strict with yourself, okay, to create these new habits. So that's number 4, shorten your deadlines. Number 5, so we've got 3 to go. Number 5, this may not be relevant to you now, but this may be relevant to you further down the track, but definitely have on your radar anything you can outsource, delegate, or handball to others that is just wasting your time. I'll give you a couple of examples of that. My 13-year-old son is doing quotes for me on my business page, because it's not a skill I need him to understand, it's a process. So process-driven things. Have you got kids you can handball and things too? Like you may not, but I just share that with you as an example. I've now got, like some of you know, I've got Olive helping me with some stuff in my groups and because I can't keep up anymore. So I've made that choice so I can be more efficient where I need to be rather than being bogged down in all the little things that stops me being creative with other things. It stops me bringing more training that would be beneficial to my community because I'm improving people in groups and stuff like that. So when it's relevant, think about that, because little admin tasks when you're growing your business, it may not be an efficient use of your time depending where you're at in your business. So it may not be relevant now, but have it on your radar for as you know, when you grow. Now, number 6 is learning to say no. You can say yes to lots of things if it doesn't inhibit you in any way, if it's not stopping you from what you need to do, if it's not running you into the ground. Say yes as much as you like. But if you're saying yes to what other people want of you, or answering messages, or taking projects on, or just saying yes to everything, and it's at the expense of you getting what you need, then learn to say no. No is a very powerful word. And it doesn't mean you're saying no. It just might be, I just can't fit that in right now. How about we do it, whatever. Just delay it. But some people do need to learn to say no. This is very typical in traditional employment. And I know I got caught with this in, you know, even in my general manager's position. Like, I always got everything done because I've got a lot of pride in what I do. But the impression that creates is that I've got everything under control. So we'd go to a board meeting and the board would go, oh, Helen, you can do that for you. Yeah, can't you? Oh, Helen, can you just, can you have that done by the next board meeting? Oh, Helen, you can do that, can't you? And I'd just sit there and go, yep, feeling like I didn't have a voice and just loading myself up with all these things that I would spend hours on weekends and nights trying to get done because I never said no. I never said, actually, I don't have that time to fit that in at the moment because I'm doing this, this, and this that you asked me to do last week. But, you know, we need to be in control of how much stuff you take on. Okay, so it's very important to learn to say no when it's relevant. Okay, don't overload yourself at the expense of what you need to get done for you or what other people want from you. Respect. It's just respect for yourself. That's all it is. It's not letting people down. It's just being respectful of your own time. Okay. Now the last one is, you know, just going back to that. When you don't say no, you're the kind of people that's going to run yourself into the ground because you're just going to be doing everything and, you know, you just don't want to run yourself into the ground. Number 7 is filling in the gaps of time. Now, what I mean by this, hopefully you all understand this when I say this, but have you seen that example where you've got a glass jar and you put big rocks in it and then you put little pebbles in it and then you put water in it? Okay, so a lot of teachers do this with kids in a classroom. And so you got your jar and you put the big rocks in it. And you say to the kids, like, is the jar full? No, not yet. And then you put the pebbles and fill in all the gaps so the pebbles fall into the gaps where the big rocks are. And you say to the students, like, is the jar full? And they go, yes, it is. But then you go and pour water in it and fill up all the little gaps. Now it's full. And you've probably all seen this before where you flip that. So let's say we put the water in first, or let's say we put the pebbles in first, and then we try to put the big rocks at the top. Like, it just doesn't work, does it? So the big rocks are the things that you really don't want to do but need to get done. Like, put them in first. And then your pebbles will fit in all around that of all the other little things that you need to do, but they're not as important as the big rocks. So the stuff that you really don't want to do that you're probably avoiding because you don't know how to do it. And when you don't know how to do something, you tend to procrastinate. You know, those kind of things. They're the things that you really need to tackle first. And then we put all our pebbles in, and then we put the water on in the top with all the incidental stuff. You can very easily get that the wrong way round. And there are lots, like if you take the big rocks and the pebbles and the water is proving the point. And even the pebbles, when they fall in between the rocks, there are little gaps Like if you look at those as little gaps, there are gaps of time that you're probably not utilizing. You may be really ineffective with your time. You may be wasting time. You may be wasting time procrastinating, but I'm sure you've got pockets of time that maybe if you looked at it a little bit differently or planned your time more effectively with time blocks for like email and messenger and things like that, that you would actually find you had more time. And then you can fill in those times with that little bit of exercise that you haven't found the time to do before. Or, reading a resource or a book or doing a training, because you're now more effective with how you've stacked your jar. Does that make sense? Have you guys, like, you're aware of that example? Like, surely everybody in their lifetime has seen that actually physically done on a video or in a classroom, where you put the big rocks first, then the pebbles, then the water, and that's the most effective way to use your time. Like, look at it that way, rather than flipping at the pebbles and you're not going to fit many rocks in. Because the pebbles are taking up majority of the space. So just think about that for you and your business and fill up those little gaps of time that you may be wasting as well. Like, are you watching too much TV? Are you, procrastinating too much? So you're wasting half an hour here, there, and everywhere because you're not being effective with your planning or your to-do list or time blocking. One of the things, as a mentor of a lot of students learning to build their business online, one of the things we talk about all the time is time blocking. So if you're somebody that gets easily distracted, bring down the time that you're doing an activity, even if it's 30 minutes. Just concentrate on a task for 30 minutes and then have a 10-minute break. And then do another task for 30 minutes. But when you're on it, when you're on that task, nothing else comes in. Not email, not messenger, not your kids. I just need 20 minutes, kids, 30 minutes. I'm just working on something really important. Can you just wait for a second? And that's your time block to get that done. Rather than kids are coming in and out and you're checking your email and your messenger at the same time you're doing the task. Now your 20, 30-minute task has probably taken an hour because of everything else that's getting in the way. Focus, people. Focus. Work out what your priorities are with your focus tasks and time block for those tasks. And if you're getting frustrated because you don't know how to do something, or whether reach out for help, from those around you or mentors or things like that. Okay, so that's number 7, filling in the gaps of time by planning your time. Your to-do list, your time blocking and those kind of things. This is really, really important for those of you working from home. Do you agree? Working from home with, kids home from school like mine are, and, those of you that have got kids, you've got this, as well. Time blocking into small gaps and telling your kids, right, while you're doing that, I'm doing this. Please don't disturb me for the next 20 or 30 minutes. It's really, really important. But do you know how efficient and effective you can be in a 30-minute time block versus you've been sitting there for an hour trying to do something and everybody's interrupting you and you're letting messenger and email interrupt you? You can go a whole day and go, what have I achieved today? It feels like I've got nothing done. So how you focus, plan, execute, and discipline, people. Discipline. That's all part of it. Okay. So what do you think about that? I'm just going to look at a few comments here. I've talked long enough, so I'll get off in a moment. Stephanie, I love that. Start on messages and then that starts the ball rolling, not getting other stuff done for sure. I'm afraid and not acknowledging messages first because bad business. Yeah. Okay. Let me also, though, guys, people can wait. I've also got caught with this. If a message comes in and it's related to your business, you want to respond straight away. But do you know what that creates, guys? Everybody creates an expectation that you are for them like that. And then suddenly when you're not, the messages keep coming in. Did you get my message? You haven't responded to me. Blah, 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 because you get busier and busier because your business is growing. Trust me, you don't want to have immediate reactions to people. I know that some of you might feel, oh, but I want to be there for them straight away. I want to respond straight away, but be realistic. What is your expectation when you message somebody? Do you expect them? Honestly, do you expect somebody to reply to you like that? So if you don't, just put some boundaries up, guys. In the online world, this will be a massive downfall for you. If you jump when everybody else wants you, and you don't take care of what you need to do for yourself personally or business-wise. And I know it's a catch that you want to respond straight away, but if you're making your life all about what everybody else wants of you rather than taking care of yourself and your work and your priorities first, you're going to find it hard to be really successful, because you're always going to be at everybody else's whim. And you'll end up missing out doing what you need to do for you. You'll end up stop creating things that are going to move your business forward. Trust me, I know this. I'm still working through it. Okay, so you have to be just put some boundaries up to some degree, because it's like that example I just gave you with the board members and me, when I always said, yes, I can do that. And I never, it was always yes, yes, and I can do it and I can do it. Yes, I can do it in that time frame. It just got worse. I created my own rod for my back by never saying no, or always giving the impression, yep, that's okay, yep, be done by then, whatever. And then I'm the one staying up all night trying to get unrealistic deadlines done because I never set any boundaries for myself. Okay, so just be really careful, because the online world is 24 hours. And, you know, some of you that have not worked from home before, that are now working from home, and like things are coming at you from all different angles, you might be experiencing it. But this is the online world. So unless you manage the online world appropriately, you're going to get stuck with overwhelm and stress and not being able to manage what you need to do for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And it's not bad business. It's not bad business if you don't acknowledge them first. Okay, so just get rid of that mindset. It's not bad business if you don't respond immediately. Okay, yes, for sure. My most productive days start with that frog. Love number one. Yes. Oh my God. So true. Squirrels run wild with distractions. Yep. That's me. Some days, sadly me. So at least you can relate to what I'm saying. Not every day, but sometimes I need to be more batching with my time. My email is such a distraction, sends me in way too many directions. So turn it off, Cindy, and time batch when you're going to look at it. I have so many unread emails because they are not important and I haven't dealt with them for months. Delete them, Olive. Stop. You don't want them sitting there. Delete them. Came in a little late. No worries, Anna. By the way, Helen, I grabbed onto that designer thing for Lifetime. I'm so excited. Speaking of brain farts, you can get distracted. She's talking about our previous boot camp and some resources that I've shared. But anyway, I could still read your comments, but I'm very wary of how long I've spoken for today. But hopefully you've got something out of those 7 tips. If you've just got one thing out of those 7, hopefully you've picked up a couple of things. But what I encourage you to do is take this kind of information and actually try to execute it. Work out for yourself what works for you. Work out for yourself what's going to make you more productive. But you won't know unless you trial different ways of being really effective with your time. So just try turning the email off when you're doing something in your computer so it doesn't ding when an email comes in. Put your phone on silent. My phone is on silent 100% of the time. 100% of the time. So it would drive me nuts if it went ding, 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 and I looked at it every time it dinged, I would get nothing done because it just doesn't stop. So things like that, silencing your phone, turning your email program off while you're working on a project, and then make a time block for it after, okay? So over to you. Testing, test it, trial it, work out if it makes you more efficient. I hope that it does, and I hope those 7 tips were helpful for you because I thought they were really sort of effective and useful tips. So again, video challenge is open, link is above. Branding course starts next week, link is above, and my birthday promo is going on at the moment. So if you want to get access to more detailed training, it's practical training on how to do a lot of things to build your business online. Take advantage of that. The link to the post is up above as well. Other than that, sorry for talking so long, but hopefully it was useful, and I'll see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Okay, bye.